What if I told you that some of the world's most beautiful deserts hide a secret orchestra? One that plays music without a single musician in sight. Picture this. You're walking across a vast, sun-scorched desert. The only sounds are the whisper of wind and the crunch of sand beneath your feet. Then, without warning, the dune beneath you begins to sing. A low, resonant hum fills the air, deep, musical, almost like a cello being played somewhere underground. It's not your imagination. It's not magic. It's one of nature's most mysterious acoustic phenomena. The singing sand dune for centuries, travelers, scientists, and explorers have been captivated by these musical mountains of sand. Marco Polo wrote about hearing spirit voices in the Gobi Desert. Charles Darwin described the sound as resembling the twanging of a string. And even today, in remote deserts from the Sahara to Death Valley, these dunes still perform their ghostly symphony. But what causes them to sing? And why do only certain dunes have this hidden talent? To understand the music of the sands, we first need to listen to the silence they come from. Most deserts are quiet places, vast, empty, and still. But in a handful of locations around the world, the sand itself seems to come alive. The sound can vary from a soft purr to a booming roar that carries for miles. Some dunes produce a single, sustained note. Others seem to warble or vibrate with multiple tones. And the strangest part, the music only happens under specific conditions, usually when the sand is dry and when someone walks or slides down the slope. For a long time, people thought these sounds were supernatural. Legends spoke of desert demons, buried bells, or the voices of lost souls. But science had a different story to tell, one that begins not with magic, but with physics. Let's dive into the mystery of how sand sings. The first clue came from the sand grains themselves. Not all sand can sing. In fact, only certain types of dunes, usually those made of well-rounded, similarly sized grains of sand, have this ability. When you look at singing sand under a microscope, you see something remarkable. The grains are almost perfectly spherical, smooth, and coated in a thin layer of silica or other minerals. This coating is key. It helps the grains slide against each other with very little friction. Now, imagine billions of these tiny, polished grains all moving together. When the slope of a dune is disturbed by a footstep, a landslide, or even strong wind, the top layer of sand begins to flow. And as it flows, the grains don't just tumble randomly. They organize, they synchronize. They move in waves, like a school of fish or a flock of birds turning in unison. This collective movement creates vibrations. And when billions of grains vibrate together, they act like a giant speaker, amplifying the sound into the deep, resonant hum we hear. But there's more to it than just vibration. Scientists discovered that the sound is also shaped by the way the grains collide. Each tiny impact between sand particles creates a miniature shockwave. Normally, these shocks are random and cancel each other out. But on a singing dune, the collisions become synchronized. They happen in rhythm. And that rhythm is what produces a clear, musical tone. Think of it like an avalanche, but in slow motion and with perfect timing. The entire sliding layer of sand behaves like one massive instrument. The size of the grains, the speed of the slide, and the humidity in the air all tune the pitch. Drier sand sings louder and deeper. Wet sand stays silent. Still, one question remained. Why do only some dunes sing? The answer lies in their history. Singing dunes are often very old, some have been stable for thousands of years. Over time, wind and weather have sorted the sand, removing smaller particles and polishing the grains until they reach that ideal size and shape. It's a natural refining process that turns ordinary sand into a musical medium in a way. These dunes are like violins that took millennia to build, but the story doesn't end there. Because the same phenomenon doesn't just happen on Earth. NASA's Mars rovers have picked up evidence of singing sands on the red planet. Martian dunes, shaped by thin winds and extreme cold, may also produce low-frequency rumbles, a haunting desert choir on another world back on Earth. Researchers are still uncovering new layers to the mystery. Some singing dunes produce more than one note. Others change their tune with the seasons. In the deserts of Morocco, there's a dune known as the barking sand. It doesn't hum, it yaps, like a pack of small dogs. And in China, the Mingsha Shan dunes have been singing for so long that local legends say they're the voices of buried armies, still chanting from below. What's clear is that these dunes are not just piles of sand. They're dynamic, living systems, and their music is a side effect of perfect physical harmony. So the next time you stand at the edge of a vast desert, remember, beneath the silence, there might be a song waiting to be awakened. All it takes is one step, one slide, one moment of disturbance, and the dune will sing its ancient, resonant tune. A tune shaped by wind, time, and the hidden order in chaos. And perhaps that's the real lesson here. Even in what seems like randomness, nature finds a way to create music. All we have to do is listen. Have you ever heard a singing sand dune or another mysterious natural sound? Share your experience in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Nature Unlocked for more stories from the wild.